Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Boisterous, come to you with some Platinum League Pandemonium out of the map. A Tal'Darim Altar, spying down here in the bottom left-hand corner. We do have Arcanine as the pink Zerg, up here in the top right-hand corner we have his opponent, Cadoink, as the green Terran. Now, of course, I've commentated these two before, about a month ago. And if you haven't watched that game, you should go watch it. And if you have watched that game, I will perhaps refresh your memory on the fact that Cadoink really, he didn't do that good. It was almost painful to watch. There was a lot of sucking in there. I do believe he in fact lost an entire Marine force off creep to slow banelings without infestors. Like it was that bad. He didn't even split. It was scary. And his Marines even had stim and everything. He didn't feel like juking. It was kind of awkward. But hopefully, let's see if he can come back in this game and actually, do something right. Huh, yeah, Cadoink, yeah, right, ha, yeah, that's right. Oh man, I'm taunting you a little bit much, but you know what, screw it. Okay, well, we have Arcanine and both of their players now just dropping down their main production facilities. I would expect Arcanine to be going for a 15 hatch. If he ever watches my videos, and yes he does, there's the 15 drone coming out. Probably going to be for 15 hatch, but again, I don't really know. I'm guessing that's why this rally is set there. But that's not the worker rally, so, that'll just send units to the natural. But, whatever. It all works. It all works. And there, the drone, even a little bit on the late side. Typically, you want to send your drone out at around 250 minerals to get a 300 mineral hatchery down. And just by the way, I've been on the verge of sneezing for the last 5 minutes, so if I sneeze halfway through this commentary, I'm sorry. I'll probably go into the audio and try and cut it out, but if I don't, it was just too rough for me and I couldn't do it, and I sneezed. I'm sorry, it's my bad, because it's really bothering me right now that I'm not sneezing, even though I really really want to. So we have Cadouink's SCV now coming in for the full-on scout out of the base. We do have all three drones actually transferring over to this extractor now, and the spawning pool just about to finish. Cadouink's SCV sitting there pondering on whether or not to start, just drilling away at the spawning pool. And really, I never understood this about Zerg structures. Why isn't it not easier to break those things? Because you think about it, if you should be able to drill into that sack and just have all the water spill out and everything get destroyed. But that's not how it works. Zerg structures are actually amazingly resilient when they're building. It's kind of crazy because if you just look at it, it's this little it's the membrane that's and then there's this living thing inside of it that's just crawling around, and it just doesn't make much sense. And then it pops and this comes out somehow. I really I don't understand Zerg construction. Of course, Terran construction is also a little bit on the confusing side because you just have an SCV going there and just putting his drill down a lot, and as he's doing that, all of his complex machinery is actually putting the building together for him. And it's why do you even need the SCV there? It doesn't do anything. It just kind of sits there and swings its drill around. You don't really need it to be sitting there. Look at it. These SCVs are not doing anything to aid in the construction of these buildings. They are literally just sitting there putting their drill down to the metal, and then these complex machines that just pop up out of the ground are building it for them. It doesn't make any sense. And everyone that's always why are you ranting so much about random stuff? Talk about the game, talk about the map. I've talked about Tal'Darim Altar 40,000 times in different videos. I've commentated the games on this map probably 30 or 40 times. And it feels weird when I start talking about how, control of the Zelnaga towers is amazingly important, because it basically gives you all of the information on one route of attack to your base, and if you actually control both of the ones that are adjacent to your base, you basically a complete idea of whether or not your opponent is coming for you, which is an extremely important idea. Or the fact that Zergs should be spreading creep on this map, because creep spread is amazingly important because it allows your army to really do any sort of hit and run type thing, because most of this map is actually pretty open plainsy areas that are pretty easy to engage the Terran on. You just need to be able to see them at any point when they're approaching your base and be able to get those flanks in. And I don't like saying that kind of stuff again. Although, I can do it. I'll figure it out. But anyway, we do have Arcanine now building up his lair along with the Baneling nest. So we are going to be seeing if Cadoink can micro finally. Yeah, Cadoink. Never forget. Oh man. Alright, well, he would appear to be getting the Stim Pack upgrade, which is kind of interesting. Most players choose to go for Combat Shield before they get Stim Pack just because the extra 10 health certainly helps with your Marines not dying in a second when you Stim Pack. And we actually have 15 drones on the way for Arcanine. Arcanine is not joking around when it comes to building drones. Oh my god, it's a lot of drones. And they're all going to be rallied over to the third base, which is going to be like an instant economy for him. And if we look at the worker counts, we see that Arcanine is actually pretty safely ahead. He's 14, 13 drones ahead right now. And he's probably just going to keep droning up super duper hard. Because that's kind of just what you do as you just keep droning until you have to stop droning. And then you're like, man, I didn't want to stop droning. And then you kill your opponent because you have too many drones. Or your opponent kills you because you have too many drones. It's really, it can really go either way. That's usually the two outcomes of the game. We have another 15 drones coming out for Arcanine. That is a crap ton of drones. Crap ton of drones to be coming out at one point. Like, I think that might actually oversaturate his bases. He's going to need to be sending some of them to the natural. Because if he sends them all to this third base, it's definitely going to be oversaturated. In fact, is it oversaturated right now? Yeah. It's close. It's close. 2 more drones and it's basically done, because you want 2 rows plus 4. And if you take that and you subtract the 1 that's going to be in the extractor at any one time when you double click on your drones, should just be 26, or not 26, whatever that is. But you know what? No, I'm not gonna count for you guys in a commentary, because I do that sometimes, and then everyone's bored because I'm just shouting out numbers, and it makes no logical sense because my brain works weird as far as math goes. I just kind of like look at random numbers, and I'm like, okay, that plus that minus that plus that plus that plus that, and everyone's like, what are you doing? You're adding 2 plus 2, and I'm like, well, gotta be careful. Gotta be sure that 2 plus 2 is what you think it is, because it's not an easy math problem. You gotta like graph it and everything. It's pretty annoying. That's kind of just how it needs to work. Well, we do have, oh wow, quite a few Banelings coming up from Arcanine. That's approximately half of his Zerglings, which is something like you never really want to do, because morphing too many Banelings kind of means that you lose, because you can't cost efficiently use Banelings versus tanks. Banelings are just there to take out Marines, so that your Zerglings can then take out the tanks, and if you build too many Banelings, you're like, oh, well, fuck, it looks like his tanks are going to roll through me because I don't have enough Zerglings. Or, on the contrast, if you don't build enough Banelings, then his Marines just kill you, and you're like, oh, well, fuck, his Marines killed me. And it looks like we now have the move out from Cadoink, and this is one of those primary points on why it's so important to have creep spread, because Arcanine kind of had he had a little bit of an idea that this was coming, but not that major one. And it looks like, in fact, he's going to be moving out across the map at this point. So are we going to be seeing a base trade scenario here? I hope not, because Arcanine is not nearly close enough to get that base trade down. It looks like the macro hatch from Arcanine is now going to be taken out by Cadoink. I don't think there's any way for him to save that. In fact, he just gets rid of it. And it looks like this flank around from Arcanine is going to be absolutely beautiful in this position here. They're pretty nice around onto the Marines. And yeah, that looks like it's going to be basic cleanup of the army. You never want to throw that many Banelings into a siege tank, but I guess it worked. It looks like the Queen does get away with 11 health, and the medevac is kind of just sitting there being all sketchy and getting shot at by the Queen. Alright, well that was a little bit on the creepy side. We do have the Nidus Network now coming up for Arcanine. Arcanine is of course a player that very much favors going for Nidus Networks. In fact, he likes going for multiple Nidus Networks. He goes for them all the freaking time, because multiple Nidus Networks is hilarious, because you can fly over your opponent's base and drop 4 Nidus Worms, and one of them is going to finish building. I can guarantee that to you. If you build 4 Nidus Worms, one of them is going to finish building. Now, of course, 4 Nidus Worms is a massive detriment to your economy, because I think it's 100 for a Nidus Worm, and a Nidus Network is like 200, 150. But, that's part of the fun. It's part of the enjoyment. It looks like we do have a Nidus Network coming up. Where's that Nidus Network coming up? Right there, right in the eyesight of Cadouink's sensor towers. Right on the line of Cadouink's sensor towers. And it looks like a Nidus Worm has now popped up, and it will be preparing to probably puke out some units, maybe. No, Arcanine might just be using that one for reinforcements, which is of course a very smart idea. Nidus Networks might be like the best units for reinforcements, and it looks like we have a little bit of a hit and run heading up here to the third base. It's going to be taking out at least the sensor tower, and then probably should be backing because he doesn't really want to be here for when this all goes down. It looks like the Nidus Network is now here, and he's just going to be rolling back into it. Great retreat mechanic. I really, really love Nidus Networks for this fact, because now Cadounk's like, well, shit. The entire army is gone. And of course, if he moves up to take it to the Nidus Network, this Nidus Network can just start spitting out units and sending them up to this position and absolutely wreck him. So he should probably send up like 2 or 3 units, but not too many. Not this many units. It's probably not a great idea. And it looks like we have a Nidus Network now coming up in the main base. I didn't even notice that this was coming up here. And it looks like we have a lot of Zerglings now spewing out from it. And oh my god. Oh god. This is not good for Cadoink. This is never good when you just have a Zerg army in your main base. And it looks like we now have both Nidus Networks up in the base, but this giant Marine force might just about be enough to take this all down. Ugh, that's going to be fairly sketchy. We do have both Nidus Worms now getting taken out, and they are both down at this point. And, you know, Arcanine's kind of doing his best to do the amount of damage that he can. He is going to be sniping. Tech Lab's being annoying like that. However, oh! And then the runaway. That was beautiful. That was actually really, really nice from Arcanine. He built that Nidus Network, or Nidus Worm there, just to get all of his units back to his main base, which is always a great use of the Nidus Network. And we now have 17 roaches on the way. Did he not have any evolution chambers? He did not have any evolution chambers. I was like, why is he not upgrading? And that would be a reasonable reason to not be upgrading, you know, because you physically cannot. However, it looks like we now have all of the Nidus Networks except for this one cleaned up on Arcanine's side of the map. Oh my god. Arcanine, stop trolling. Why do you have this Nidus Worm here? You have a Nidus Worm right here. They're right next to each other. And you know, Cadounk's moving out across the center of the map. This is not a good situation for you. I mean, you can kind of do hit and runs and cute little teensy little things, but you know, you're going to need to fight this army still. And he does not actually have any information on the fact that this army is just about to hit his front door, so all of his units are still trapped in the Nidus Worms. Now, of course, they're probably going to get out of the Nidus Worms before this happens, but this is not the Nidus Network he wants to disembark from, because as you can see, it's going to be like D-Day, and you're just going to get fragged until you die. And that would appear to be the end of the game for Arcanine. This massive, massive 2-2 Marine force is just way too strong for him. And this was actually really beautifully played by Cadoink. I didn't quite emphasize that enough. He did not let harassment get to him. Like, those Nidus Worms started popping up, and he kind of just sat there and took it. And in the end, he was just building up this giant Marine force that did not care, really. And it looks like we now have Nidus Networks popping up, and then he's taking over the base. Oh my god. Building the spine crawlers. He is taking over the main base of Cadoink. And I'm not sure if this is going to work out to his advantage, because there are quite a few Marines on the way here. I mean, if these spine crawlers get up, I mean, I guess he might be able to survive, but I don't think these spine crawlers are going to get up. There might be a couple in the back that managed to survive, but honestly, this is just crazy damage from the Marines are going to clean up absolutely everything. And I think, yeah, Arcanine with the rage quit, really? Really, Arcanine? Really, this is your practice partner. You don't rage quit? What the hell, man? Gotta say GG. Even if it's just in a replay that you send to me, just say GG. Just say it. Just say it. But anyway, guys, if you would like to watch any other games I've commentated, you can go over to youtube.com/user/boisteroussc2. Also, if you would like your games commentated, you can send them on into boisteroussc2@gmail.com. I am, of course, always willing to commentate new people. Your skill level doesn't matter. If the game is around 18 minutes long, we'll commentate it no matter what. If it's around like 40, then it's going to need to be a little bit of an interesting, like twisty type game for me to, you know, start thinking about it, because that's a really long game to try to vamp my way through, because people apparently don't like it when I just talk about random players' names for 2 minutes, even though like that's probably part of my favorite. That's probably like my favorite part of commentating is just the early game vamping, and I'm completely kidding there. I hate that part. Oh, that part's horrifying. But anyway, instead of late game vamping, I'm just going to say thank you all for watching, and this is Boisterous signing out.